everyone. Fix my Let's see. Give everyone a few seconds to join. We cool today. Making sure we cool today. I'm giving probably a full minute at 39 seconds. Because I know I told everybody 8 o'clock. Oh, there's one person. I know I told everybody 8 o'clock, but in true Nadia Vanderhall um, essence, a few minutes late. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're the person watching. Okay, we hit the top of an hour. Uh, my sister, Claire, my family don't watch me and nobody else. Somebody else watching. I don't see who it is. All right, everyone. It is a minute in. As you come in, say hello so I know who you are. Who's watching. It might be some ghost watchers, but hey, Shelby. So yeah, just say hey, hey, Big Dipper. How are you? If I know no one else is gonna watch me, it's gonna be you, and my executive producer too, which is this commented. Hey, executive producer. Okay. It seems like the more that I do this, it gets better, but the whole production behind the whole situation, it's good. Because Facebook can be a hater. We noticed that last week, didn't we? I am still working on a system to better combat that from happening. So as you are joining me, please go ahead and share. Not click, tag, and share, but share this live with your feed so they can join in and get some tea. So I got 4. I'm gonna give it another minute. So at minute 3, I'm gonna go ahead and start rambling. Sure, I might need to share it. I'll share it in a minute. And we got 10 seconds. This little ring light is hot. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, my name is Nadia C. Vanderhall. I am the founder and owner of the Bands and Brands Strategy Group, where I offer up content, coaching, as well as consulting within the areas of marketing and money. So as you might be privy that I've been starting to come live every Wednesday. Jeez, I stuck with it. I think this is the last Wednesday of the month. Yeah, got teary-eyed. The last Wednesday of the month. So I've consistently done this straight, and I'm going to continue on. But the reason for it, what's in my inbox, is that I get a lot of you who inbox me to ask me questions, whether it's about your business, whether it's about your coin, or just questions, period. And I tend to do a good job with answering them. But just like everything else in the world, and as Google is still here, people have questions that you might ask me, and I felt that it was a community serve to take those questions and share them with you all, and also give my take on what I think the best answer of soup for me. So those people that are watching right now, again, share. Go ahead and share. I see you if you share it or not. Share with your audience. So a lot of the content that I had this week, interestingly enough, I have 2 questions that came that were more business related, and a lot of people have been, like I said last week, asking me a lot of questions when it comes to building your business in the pandemic and basically how to stay afloat. So towards the end of all of this, I am going to tap into that. It's 2 questions, and 2 questions, I think in all I have 4, but 4 questions can mean over an hour for me if I'm long with it, but I have a feeling that will not be today. So one question that I usually try to start these with a question is, drop a 1 if you have found that Rona May has made you pivot your focus. The reason why I ask that question, I'm gonna drop a 1 myself, because it really has. And and the reason why I asked that question is because no matter if you are an employee or entrepreneur, Rona Mae Jenkins is the name I give Corona, has really made me, hey, has really made me, you can tell me, go ahead and draw the question, T. Has really made me focus my business to start pivoting a little bit more from being just, oh, I got to have coaching to, you'll see in June, starting to offer more classes, starting to be more innovative with the interruption that Corona has given me. So even if you are, say for instance, an employee, Corona can really make you think, do I really want this job anymore? Do I really need to start pivoting how I'm performing at this job? What do I need to do to either grow where I am or go somewhere else where I can grow? So that's a good thing to think about if you are an employee. On the other end, if you are a entrepreneur, Corona has probably made you think, what the heck am I doing in my business? The reason why I say that is because people, the way that you service your people, BC, sorry, before Corona is not going to be the way that you service people AC after Corona. So say for instance, if you look at one of my favorite people or brands to look at, Amazon, they consistently are changing their business model, and they're changing again right before people's eyes. I know I use Amazon as a example, but heck, I could even talk about Disney Pixar. They're continuously shifting during the BS. So that's the reason why I asked that question. I'm gonna drop ad. Is because if you are not shifting during Corona, no matter if it's your finance, your fitness, your business, just your mindset, spirituality, anything like that, relationships, whatever it is, if you're not shifting during this interesting pandemic peak, I'm not gonna call it a valley, during this peak, you have basically, I'm not gonna say wasted, you taking some very precious time that can be critical to the rest of your life as well as generations to come. So I know some people personally, to me, have really been starting to think about their roles in their careers and having to pivot. A Big Dipper, as well as me and my executive producer. So it's just a lot of people have really been thinking hard on what they're doing right now in result of Corona, and especially with businesses, period. So she said she's gonna drop 5. I'm waiting for 5. Try to pivot. Oh, you're trying to pivot, but it's slow. I'll talk about it towards the end. If I don't say that, I'll bring it up, T. Just remind me. But if not, you can always bug me on the off zone. So one question that I'm going to go ahead and get started with the questions because baby, it's 8 minutes in. Okay, and I don't want to get a text message telling me to get off. It's not that there. I love her dearly. So I want to start doing the recaps from like the previous week so people know what the heck you missed, like it's a t-shirt, like it's a TV show. So last week, one of the things I called out was about Raven-Symoné and how she was able to build generational wealth, and just how her family started looking at those vehicles that can retain money long term and putting it where she didn't have access to. So a lot of people reached out and thought that the information that I gave them was very good. So if you need to, you can go back and review it. I'll drop it when I do the recap of this one. Another question was, which is better that I have off the top of my head, because I have to go back, y'all. One question that I had was, which is better for you to use an IRA to invest or these third-party apps? And I keep telling people, please stop thinking that it is only one way for you to invest. You can invest through, if you have an IRA, you can. If you have Robinhood, Stockpile, and all the whole list that I could list off like DMX did, all his women, that is no one right way to invest. I always say, just be a serial investor when it comes to it. Find those platforms that work for you. Don't sit there and just say, oh, I got an IRA with this person, I'm going to stick with them. Baby, I'm not just sticking with Wells Fargo because Wells Fargo is who I have one of my IRAs with. I'm not just sticking with them. I have other ones because of you, so I can be able to tell you what works, but I have it because Warren Buffett don't have all his money in one place. I'm not Warren Buffett. I'm not Suze Orman or whatever. You're not allowed to say that. But people leave context clues. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket. So there was some other stuff, the debt cancellation or paying off your debt and all that stuff. So like I said, after this, I want to link the last live so you can go back and watch it. Little tea about the last live. It was really good. I'm gonna tell you what Facebook did. It was a little hater and deleted the whole thing. Mm-hmm. If you know me personally, you know the curse words going in my head. But it was an hour long. But I took that time. As soon as it deleted, and I noticed it deleted, I tried to grab it one way. It didn't work. So what did I do? I re-recorded. Took the hour down to 25 minutes because I really thought the information was valuable to those who follow my platform. Okay, that's it. And scene. So the question that I'm going to start off with is, do you have to get rich before you can build wealth? No, no, you don't. I hate that social media has made it so of the tone that we have to have this amount of money to start investing or to start seeing some kind of impact when it comes to investing. And I hate that. I hate that, but I learned from that. One of the posts that I made on Instagram a while ago, right when Corona May started to um, started to really rear her little head, redheaded stepchild situation, is that you have to really mind your money. During the pandemic, you have to really plan a little bit deeper. So going to say, oh, I can't invest during this time, is kind of far fetched, and you don't have to be rich to make an impact in your wealth. And one of those things is I would call it mind your money. Yeah, that was the post. Mind your money is gonna be a post that builds into something else. Work with me, but it like I said a few minutes ago, that at the top of this, that Rona really put people in position to rethink their wealth model. And you do not have to have a lot of cash or assets to be presumably rich. Now, assets you kind of do, you have to build towards that. But one of the things that I say is that for you to start getting involved in investing, no matter what kind of investing it is, you have to scale your stocks. Whether if you have one stock or if you have a round lot of 100 shares of a company, you have to start somewhere. Everyone that has had some level of wealth had to start somewhere. I don't care if you have to buy a fractional share, start somewhere. And wherever you are, you have to leverage that level that you come in at. So rather, if you do have $100, whether you do have $1,000, whether you do only got $5.99 showed and that got last me Thursday, you have to leverage that level that you're on. So as you gain more insight on what are you investing in, what are you putting in these RITs or whatever money vehicles that you're looking in, learning more about that level that you're on will help you get to the next level that you will go. So you might a lot of people are now starting to say, due to the interest rate being 0%, that mortgage rates are good. They are good right now. So if you are looking for a home, you could now have a strong feeling you have a little bit of time to buy something. And you don't have to do it like Rapido. You have a little bit of time to do something. Hey. Rather, if you cannot do it investing or buying a house or a commercial property or a multi-unit family property or anything, you can invest in RITs, which are real estate investment trust. One thing that I noticed, a lot of my peers were starting to push RITs like it was drugs at the beginning of the year. One thing that you have to be very critical about when buying a RIT is that RITs, okay, let me back up, pause and push play. RITs is like I said, real estate investment trust. So say for instance, these corporations that live REIT. REIT. I just typed it in. Don't worry, that's coming in my what the finance probably, if not this week, next week. RITs are kind of okay, maybe backtrack, no problem. RITs are, like I said, real estate investment trust. So say for instance, I used to stay in a Camden property. Camden hotel, not hotel. Well, they have an offset of hotels. But there are apartment complexes. They actually have a RIT. So as I seen it as this, if I'm giving these people almost 2 stacks for rent, why can't I buy part of their company To go into another one, Apple. Yes, Apple. Not that Apple that you probably are watching me on, but it's another Apple. They have a RIT. But one thing I want to call out is that, like I was saying, a lot of people was pushing RITs at the beginning. I would think you would say that. You are always hungry. You are. It's all right. That a lot of people were pushing RITs at the beginning of rates. I say that for people that think I'm saying cracker, not pause. That I'm saying that. But the reason why people were pushing that is because it was an easy way for you to get a lot of stock for a bang for your buck. So you can. There are a lot of them were hitting $50 a share or under, and even some that was hitting $100 or under. Baby, I even saw that was one that was $5.99 that jumped up to $10. But the reason why I'm calling that out and again to circle back is that a lot of people was pushing those RITs, but they're getting ready to possibly be cheaper. The reason why I say that is because as you see, my homeboy, I say homeboy like I know him, but I will one day, Jack, which is one of the founders and owners of Twitter, as well as other companies, are starting to say, my people can work from home. Those big behind buildings that they put thousands and millions of people in, depending on the company, they don't own those buildings. They don't. So if they don't own those buildings, they pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month to that building. Not the building fund like your church, but to the building. But to that building, the property owner. So as those corporations start saying we're going to work from home, it'll be cheaper for me to give them a laptop versus me paying this company what $25,000, $100,000 a month just for a couple of floors, and I can sit here and dish out money to these companies, to my employees, versus them paying these people, as I love to say, pay the people. What's getting ready to happen? You're getting ready to see a very big dip in commercial real estate over the next couple of months, because at the end of these renewals, so they're on contracts. Most of them are 1 year, some can be 10 years. One of the corporations I used to work for a while ago, I know for a fact they used to pay them $25,000 a month for 3 floors. So I know. But as they start figuring out where can we leverage our P&L to see, are we making money, are we losing money by having people stay home, these RITs are getting ready to be discounted heavy because of those corporations that have one that's attached to basically those office buildings that you see. So be cognizant on buying RITs to see what is it attached to. A little bit of tea. Some RITs are even attached to resorts too. That's all I got. Like hospitality. So look at those industries that you see right now that are not taking a hit by old Ronald May Jenkins, such as the hospitality is kind of limbo, but commercial real estate is getting ready to go through a real renaissance because it's getting ready to get ugly. I don't know how ugly. I'm not Negronomous, as I love to say, but it's getting ready to get really interesting when it comes to commercial real estate. Do what you want with that. But like I said, RITs, if you're looking into buying a RIT or RITs, that you be cognizant of the one that you are purchasing. See what it's attached to. See, is it going to be impacted in a good way or a bad way by Ronald May? Hey, that rhymed. But to see how is that going to be impacted. So that's a little bit of tea. But going back to the whole thing that you don't have to buy a lot of stock or whatever, or what have it be, to be rich. You don't have to be rich to build wealth. You have to start where you are and scale up and notice wherever level you are on that you can actually, like, what do I learn? Okay. What did I learn when I brought my first stock? The stock market is really interesting. They can go up and down. So please don't think just because you buying it and it's high today that it can't be low tomorrow. And stop thinking that you have to check it every 10 minutes. No, beloved, that is going to cause you a little bit of stress and anxiety. You don't need that. Building wealth is not supposed to build anxiety. It's supposed to build awareness. So taking back to knowing where you are whenever you do start purchasing stock, whether you start investing in RITs or real estate or whatever it be, your own wealth formula is, the market is crazy, child. and we ain't seen nothing yet. The reason why I said we ain't seen nothing yet is because when we get to Q3 and Q3 and Q4, especially going into Q4, and then seeing how these companies had these forecasts for the whole year with this whole 2020 vision, like everybody was saying their vision board is screwed. Honey, corporations and businesses, their forecast in 2020 vision is like, I don't have nothing to ball up and throw it away. I'm not Kramer. But it is going to be interesting to see at the end of the year, top of the year, what happens, because as we proceed and see how the market performs, yeah, it looks good right now, but I'm holding my wig like my turban is to the end of the year to see, and the beginning of 2021, to see how this shakes, because I would really be I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but I never say it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be an interesting thing, and I think a meme that I saw is that it will be billionaires, millionaires, or witnesses. Baby, you could be all of them. The reason why I say that is, my last name is Vanderhall. I'm not kin to the Vanderbilts, but a lot of people think I am. His wealth was built during buying penny stock, buying into these cheap funds, and then watching them grow later on. So I'm not saying, don't quote me. Don't have family coming for me at my front door in this very nice neighborhood saying this woman said, no, I didn't say that. What you learn during this time and how you position yourself during this pandemic determines how you and your family eat down the line. So like I love to say that the whole jeans scenario, what are you putting in your front pocket? What are you putting in your back pocket? Back pocket is down the line with your family, with your, generation love. Right now is what can you pick out like a Snickers and eat right now? So are you saving? Are you cutting spending? What are you doing to build your whole pockets? Okay. Who's that? Genuine said, what's in those jeans? Not debt. Okay. Bills are inevitable. We can't really get away from those, but are those bills manageable? So that's what I really want you guys to do, and I was going to talk about this in a minute, is to be seeing I'm so politically incorrect. To be seeing what can you do now to build the wealth that you want to see later. Wealth is a long run. Wealth is a long ball game. It's the long play. It's nothing that you can do overnight unless you play the lottery. I looked over at my nephew. But it's a long game. So going over to that, you do not have to be rich before you can build wealth. You can be 1,000. You have to, before you get to a millionaire, trillionaire, billionaire, whatever, you have to be 100-naire, 1,000-naire. You do the math. But it's about, put all your credit card. Look at you listening. That's one of my clients. It's putting the credit cards on ice, checking your spending. What can you do right now to free up any money for later? So rather it's say, okay, I can't eat out. Baby, you technically don't need to eat out because you're still in the house. But I'm just not going to say that. But going back to the main point is you don't have to get rich or die trying. Is that what 50 cents say? Okay, we're not 50. We're not getting shot up. But you have to understand where you are now to have a better plan to build later. You do not have to be rich to build wealth. You can be rich-minded right now and start aligning yourself to be actually seeing the money in your hand in your account later on. So that's that on that question. Another question that I literally got today, when I shared the whole news with Tuesday morning. It's raining here in Charlotte, but clearly it's raining bankruptcies for everyone else. Such as Tuesday morning, JCPenney, J. Crew, and all them. Okay. The list goes on. Oh, Hertz is with bankrupt too. But the thing is that when I share about these companies and things like that happen, it's always something in it that I'm trying to say. And while you might not be a business owner, lessons in the leverage from what you see these companies do. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these companies were in bad shape BC, before Corona. A lot of these companies didn't have any kind of contingency plan. They didn't know how their spending, how their P&L looked. They didn't have a projection of what is going to happen if they have this little clause to say, if the worst case scenario happens, I bet you a lot of companies are going to start doing this due to Corona. With the worst case scenario happens, how can we spend lean spending? A lot of companies did have, we know what we're spending on this or what we're spending on that, but they're not budgeting out for if something like this happens. I promise you, and I don't say promise, a lot of companies are really going to step a step back and see all these companies going bankrupt, and try not to do that next year. Because I have a feeling, I said it earlier today, this is not going to be the last round of it. It's going to keep happening. I think another company, airline company out of South America went bankrupt Tuesday, or filed bankruptcy. And interesting enough, Delta Airlines owns 20% of them. So everybody is starting to feel it. But he's like, well, what are you trying to say? What does it have to do with me? Those companies don't have a contingency plan. They didn't have one. They were probably losing money before Corona. So are you taking the time to do it? I'm getting ready to say my 3 B's. What are your bills looking like? What are you building, and how are you blowing? I know a lot of people are still sitting at home giving Amazon their whole paycheck. I get it. I don't judge you because I got something in my cart now. But what are you taking to account what your bills are looking like? I'm certain that Tuesday morning knew their bills were screwed, probably in January, and was trying to take water out of the boat up until now, and they knew that they couldn't pay all their creditors. I'm certain. Same with Neiman Marcus, J. Crew, and all of them. They were bad beforehand. They knew their bills were outstanding. The reason why? Commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is one of the biggest bills. And what your biggest bill is? Probably either your mortgage or your rent. I know, because it's not and it's about due. But one of the biggest bills that corporations see is their commercial real estate. A lot of these companies might have an arm of their company, such as Walmart has an arm of commercial real estate, because I knew someone that worked for it. But a lot of them mostly orchestrated the deals, versus a lot of Walmarts are not owned by Walmart. But the reason why is that I'm bringing that up is to make it connect, is that their biggest bill is mostly their real estate, which is their mortgage or their rent. Who is that? Mall of America has a 1.4 billion, a million, I can't recall right now, mortgage payment that they pay on that. Yeah, Mall of America, that big behind Mall of Minnesota, has a 1.4 million, $1 billion bill, and they have not paid it in 2 months. So you're not the only one behind on your bills. Let me pause. If you find yourself behind on your bills right now, go ahead and write down, what are you behind? Who are your creditors? Do they have some kind of deferment or any kind of help that they can help you with right now? Regardless if your job is being impacted or your health or whatever, take advantage of these different deferment and things that these corporations and creditors are handing out. If they defer you for 90 days, take that deferment, child, pay down a credit card or pay down something else. Take that deferment, build up your cash. But as I said in the first one I did, is that if you defer anything, and it's going to go to the back of your loan. So say, for instance, if you have a card loan, you got deferred for 3 months. On the back of your loan, your creditor is going to email you or send you a letter, or whoever it is, better than 0 days, right? It's going to email you, send you a letter, or just send you some kind of smoke signal to tell you, look, beloved, we're giving you this grace period, but on the back of your loan, you're going to find this. You're still going to have to pay them people. You're still going to pay them later. But what I would tell you and call out is something that I've been really thinking about and researching, is that if you defer, ask them, is there any interest or any kind of fees that is associated with you deferring to the back of the loan or deferring for later? Why? I don't want you to say, okay, well, I got 3 months to not pay this amount of money, so this allows me this right here. So if they're going to defer to the back of the loan, child, I got time. I can do all this and do that. Then when you get to the end of that loan, you're like, yeah, I'm going to repay it off. I already know how much it is. You'll get that statement, and you like, excuse me, my $200 on whatever it used to be is now eclipsed to $500. So before you take any kind of deferment, ask that question. How long? Are there any fees? Can I have it in writing? The reason why is because I say you to have it in writing. A is CYA your situation. You get to say, hey, just in case they try to pull a Ray Charles on you at the end. Nah, beloved, this is what you said. You said this and this in writing. So when it's in writing, it's a contract. You get where I'm going? That's CYA. But going back to what we learned from bankruptcy, and I called this out in about the whole stock thing. I'm gonna get to that at the end. But we went from bill. So knowing what your bills are looking like. Again, those corporations probably didn't have a good relationship with their creditors, or they didn't talk about how to add a contingency plan and saving plan to help with these bills going up. I'm gonna tell you something. These corporations still had bills to pay, regardless if their people was working at home or they was closed down. Those bills were still due. Some people did not pay them. Some people did. I don't know. They didn't call me, so I can't tell them what to do. But with you, take a note from that and say, what am I doing with my bills? Am I behind? Can I pay extra to keep up, just in case putting myself ahead, just in case the tablecloth get pulled off the table even more? Because I'm gonna say this, and I say this often. We don't know how long this situation gonna last. I don't care if all 50 whatever states, I said whatever because I'm going on the rant. I don't care if all states, all the whole world open back up. Corona is still outside. I don't care if it don't feel like virusy weather. Corona is still outside, and Corona's impact is not gonna be done by June. I'm just saying. You can quote me on that. We don't know how long this is gonna be. So even if the companies or the people are starting to open back up, the states are starting to open back up, knowing your bills and paying ahead if you can, is going to help you just in case you hit a hiccup. All right, I'll be inside. I stay inside most of the time because my house is amazing, so I stay inside. But yeah, pay if you can pay those little bills like your insurance, stuff that's like $20, $10, and $9. I think for my last year, I prepaid my renter's insurance up until February. When I first moved into where I am currently, and I prepaid it. And as soon as I prepaid it, the company that I work for went out of business. You like how I tell y'all my business? I like that. Because it lets you see that I actually know the hell I'm talking about. The company I work for went out of business. So when they went out of business, that portion of everything, I didn't have to worry about. Because certain stuff I had already... I'm going to get to that in a second. A lot of the stuff that bills and stuff, I already prepaid certain bills beforehand, so I didn't have to worry about that. And just like Marie said, a lot of these companies are giving these discounts, but be careful on those discounts on your renewals, because that same company that gave me a discount, my premium went up. But yeah, find out if they have any discounts or anything like that for your bills to see whatever you can leverage. But to go back into the bill, if those companies didn't take time to build before Corona, they didn't take time to figure out what could we do to be innovative with where we are. A good example of this is looking at Peloton. Peloton is not your typical store. I want a bicycle, so if somebody wants to be Big Brother, they can send me one. I'll give you my address. But Peloton saw that retail was shifting. Retail is not the same. Peloton did it and old Tesla did it. They saw that retail was shifting. So they start changing up the experience to match what the future looks like. A lot of these companies that are going out of business or will go out of business did not lean into what innovation should come to look like. Because a lot of things that we did back in the 90s obviously don't look like nothing today. So how are you as a business, rather you work for a business or just give the businesses your money, how are you looking to Peloton during the pandemic? How are you able to open up how you do business? And going into personally, how are you going to do stuff differently AC than you did BC? Because in the middle, shout out to Pastor Steve, in the middle, you have in the middle of everything, you have to really take inventory to say, what can I do different? What has not been working in the past, and what can I do? What can I take from those lessons to actually pivot me to be better? So that's what a lot of these companies are starting to do. The ones that want to stay around after this, and the ones that are bankrupting are not ones that were pretty leaned into innovation. Call it what you want. A good example, Kodak. Picture that with a Kodak. They could have actually brought and leveraged in the digital concept, but they didn't see it as important at the time. And now, see. So those companies did not build and invest and put things together to see how can they be better in the long run. And to come back to you, what can you do within your bills to lessen those bills, reduce those bills, to build you in the building pattern, to save, to stop, to scale, whether it's to learn a new skill or it's rather to do something different that's going to generate you passive income during this time. And then for the last one is to buy. Y'all see Amazon brought somebody else again. They just keep buying. Why did they buy? Because in the build stage, they had enough cash to buy. You see what I'm saying? Or to blow. So they have money to blow. That blow that they're doing is going to actually build and give them more money down the line. So those companies that are going out of that's going bankrupt, I don't know them. I don't sit on their board. Another thing about these companies that are going through bankruptcy. I said last week about who this time? Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning was the latest this week. Tuesday morning, Hertz and a small airline company out of South America that Delta has small minority in. What else can I say? Oh, bankruptcy. Bankruptcy stock. A lot when these companies go out of business, no matter if they're in depending on what chapter that they file, you will notice that either they liquidate all of their assets to pay those creditors, meaning your stock that you own, or they're working it out, see how much money they got in the building fund. They're gonna hold it on, but that stock ticker will turn to a Q. This week we noticed that, last week it noticed that JCPenney whatever the I can't remember, child. The stock ticker was, the last letter became a Q. That it's indicating to you, as to the market or all stock the shareholders, that they're going through bankruptcy right now. Regardless of if they're going to stay around, they're trying to work through it. But if you were to try to purchase some of that bankruptcy stock while it was going through, they delisted it. Meaning delisted, they snatched them off the market, snatched them off the stock exchange. So yeah, they snatched their wig, but they placed them back on because they had to be sure, were they going to be able to potentially come through, or were they going to have to, they're just going to be through, period. And I think what's their saving grace was Amazon. So I don't know if that deal is going to go through or not, but I think for Amazon, they're seeing that with their fashion, it's one of their entities that deals with fashion on demand or something like that. So I think that's the reason why they're looking at them. So, but that was their saving grace. So that is bankruptcy stock. If it has a Q, that's what they did. They're going through it. Sears has it, and it's another couple of companies that I've noticed that they're going through it. If they have that Q, that means they're still trying to work out their assets. Would I recommend you buying it? I don't ever tell you what to do. I'll tell you to research. So see what is in the news, what those companies are doing. Are there is there a possibility for them to get brought out by somebody else? How sound is that? But I will tell you to be mindful. Do not put all your money in some bankruptcy stock, and then tomorrow they just snatch it all together, and then they're gone, and you calling me asking me what happened. I don't answer tiny violins, especially if I tell you to research before you reach. Or you can just book a session. But if one of the points that I want to call out to pay attention during those, like for these companies that you see going through bankruptcy, is that if you don't align deeper while in the dirt, your flowers will not bloom when all of this is over. So the dirt of it all is Rona. Rona put a big inconvenience to everybody, a big one. But a lot of the people, rather you, me, or whoever, is really taking time to dig and get deeper in the dirt, understand what those roots are looking like, and reconfiguring. So whenever we come out of this, everything will bloom. Whether it's your finances, whether it's your business, whether it's your side hustle, or what have it be. When we come through this, what you did in between time, or the middle, as I call it out, is going to be determined on what you see later. Let's see. To that one. But I say this, Rona Mae Jenkins is really making people put another level of prioritization in their lives. Blooming. Plug your business, y'all. I'm off people plugging your business. Pause. If you have a business, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. I love sharing. Yeah, honey, your business has really done. You know what? Let me see. I'm gonna talk about you in a second, and not indirectly, directly. But what are you doing during Rona is pivotal to what you're gonna look like after. And I'm gonna call this out for the small business owners in a few seconds. So, Sing, if you have any money questions, drop them right now before I go on to the business section. Yeah, I got business questions today. So if anybody has any money questions, please drop them right now. I do have a question in my mind that I know a lot of people are asking. Should they be investing? I get this question every live. So I just go ahead and answer it. You determine based upon your financial tolerance level. Oh, I got a link for you with that. A link for you, T. I'll send it. I'll drop it in here. I'll send it to you. But yes, a lot of grants out right now. A lot. A lot of people are small businesses. I know. While I'm waiting for them, any money questions to drop. One, should you be buying stock right now? What stock you should be buying? The companies that you spend the most bucks with. And just like I put on Instagram this week, where are you banking your bucks with? Who are you investing money in? Whether you go grocery shopping, whether you're on Facebook, whether whatever. Oh, good one. Good one. You're gonna call that in a minute. But where are you banking right now? Meaning, what are you consuming right now? You're a consumer. We're all consumers. So where are you consuming right now? What industry do you see are going to be sustainable through the shit? Those are where you should be investing right now. Are those companies that you buy from a lot, because you start paying yourself, but research to see if they're making money. 2, the companies that are going to be straight after this. 3, those companies that are going to come out of left field. And I have a feeling towards the end of the year, we're going to see a lot of left fielders. And yeah, next question that I saw. Borrowing for your 401k. Do you know that right now, due to, the CARES Act's getting ready. Some portions of the CARES Act is getting ready to go out of bounds. Too much food. Some of the CARES Act's getting ready to go out of bounds, but I think that portion is going to go, I'm getting ready to talk about, it's getting ready to go over to the HEROES Act. What I'm referring to is the question is borrowing from your 401k. Back in the day when you borrow from your 401k, that rhymes, is that if you were under 59 and a half, like if you, like on your 59 and a half birthday, yeah, you have 1.5 birthday, the day, not the day before or the day of, it had to be the day after, that if you borrowed from your 401k before that date or before that year, you were hit with a 10% penalty, among other fees, depending on who your financial carrier is for your 401k. You were hit with that. And due to Corona being Corona and wrecking shit, our representatives up in Congress and Senate, I don't like to say friends because some of them are not, they put a clause in the CARE Act that would sustain for you getting hit with that 10% penalty if you were to pay it back within 3 years, I want to call it, or if you were to, up to the first 100K. So if you find that you do need to borrow from your 401k, I allow it. But do due diligence before you snatch. Call your representative up, call your HR person, call them, because that's what they get paid for. Call them and ask them what are they doing right now with your 401k when it comes to the CARES Act. Okay, with the CARES Act, either if you have been impacted, which we've all been impacted. You know, I love to give caveats to use. We've all been impacted. So rather if you've been impacted with your hours at work or your job is gone, or you've been impacted health-wise, or if someone in your family has been impacted health-wise, or if their status at work has been impacted, that you can, that 10% penalty is waived. So what I would say, if you have to borrow from your 401k, know the exact amount that you need. Don't go try to dip today and then, oh, 2 weeks, I forgot. Don't do that. Only grab what you need, but find out the clauses to see, do I have to pay this money back? If you have to pay this money back, try to do it with bumping up your contributions. So do research before you reach for your 401k to see, am I gonna get any fees in the back end? Are there any repayment clauses that I have to hit? And what do I, like I said, what do you actually need? And then check to see how is your asset allocation looking, to see if I take this money out, to see is everything still gonna be balanced in case the market goes up and down. But only get what you need. But I don't have a problem with it, especially if you find yourself without a job, and a lot of people right now are experiencing the PUA is not paying out right now. I saw somebody in one of the groups that I'm in and give content to. They have been waiting for the PUA, which is the unemployment for the government level unemployment through CARES. They've applied for it in March and they still haven't gotten it. And we about to kiss June. What does that say? Yep, it's on auto increase. I love that. Yeah. I love auto increases, but also make sure you're how close you're getting is, if you're not matching, you're leaving money. You know, I said that. So yeah, if I have no more questions, that's a good question. Thank you, Marie, for that question. That's a good question. Like I said, don't just take your money because you can. Take it so if you have to pay down debt, pay down debt. If you have to, I'm like, people probably gonna try to crucify me. It's okay, but I'm all a realist. So if you have to pay down debt, pay down debt. If you need to stay afloat, stay afloat. Right now, it's about making sure you are in the best position possible right now and then later. But I say, if you do take for your 401k, don't stop contributing. Don't stop believing. If I wish I could have just put music like right here. But don't stop contributing to your fund. So you can take, just don't stop putting in. That makes sense. All right. No more money questions. Going once, going twice. If so, okay. If you do have money questions after I finish these 2 business questions, put this, and it's in a replay. You notice you have questions, do hashtag replay, ask your question. I will answer it right then. And like I usually say, I will answer it there as well as next week. Paying down debt. Yes, please consistently, if you can pay down debt, pay it down. Because like I said, I don't think Rona's going nowhere for a while. The impact of Rona, I'll say that. All right. One person asked me, interestingly enough, a client asked me, is it smart to rebrand your brand while it's finally taking off? Yes. The reason why I say it's fine to rebrand, and I'm actually rebranding right before your eyes, and you'll understand it after a while, like the old church song said, is while you're going through this, Rona is making a lot of businesses repurpose and reshape what their identity looks like. Pause. A lot of people don't know I talk about money, but I've been doing marketing for 15 years, so this is validated. Insane. It is smart right now. The reason why is because of what your company was known for, the services that you were known for before Corona. It has to pivot because of the new normal. Say, for instance, one of my favorite companies to give money to, Sephora, sent out an email today saying they were reopening some stores, but they started laying the groundwork on what that new experience for their brand is going to look like for consumers like you and me, with the ladies. So that's one of the things that, while you as a business owner, you were doing certain things or a certain way or what have it be, but right now it's a time for you to start putting those systems into place, beloved. Start understanding what your inventory looks like. Start figuring out, how can I take what Rona is putting out into the universe and manipulating it. Take a bad hand and play it well. That's what I would say. But if you're rebranding yourself, period, or rebranding, changing the name or what have it be, this is a good time to do so. And if you were to do that, taking your audience along for the ride to say, hey, this is giving them some kind of the BTS of behind the scenes, not Backstreet Boys, but behind the scenes of what you're doing and how you're cultivating a new brand and a new business, and how are you shifting for the new normal with Rona. So I would still think it's smart right now to do it, because your tone, people as a brand or as a business, your audience and clients, they are buying from you. They're buying for you and your brand. You can take a lot of this insight and use it as if you thinking about a business, take what I'm saying to it too. But they're buying from you and your brand, not just from your brand. Say for instance with I'm thinking quickly. Galaxy or Samsung had to rebrand themselves to meet what's going on with Apple and the whole innovation that they had. So they had to take a step back. What can we do to be innovative? Where are we going to rebrand ourselves? How are we going to be fresh and exciting? And I called out Peloton. They shifted the whole retail industry based on what they were doing. Tesla. So if you're going to rebrand yourself during this time, it's optimal time to do it. And I say rebrand, not meaning you got to go get everything new. You could just change up the services that you're offering, the tone, making it more relatable, conversational versus salesy. Be more servitude than sales. That makes sense. But then also, again, guiding them through what new is to come and how they benefit from it. So just having that conversation is like, girl, you see I'm doing this and doing that. This is why I'm on live more. Like I said, I'm doing stuff right before you. You don't know it. So is it smart to rebrand right now? Another question I saw Tanelia had further up was what to do right now while it's slow. Figure out what systems that you have right now that are not working for your new normal. And taking an audit of what your audience base, what do they need right now? Take your followers on the journey. What do they need right now? What does your audience base look like? So is that you have this audience, right? These people that follow you, like everything you post, right? Okay, so boom. And it's these other people who watch, but they don't interact with their brand. A lot of people call them ghosts. They are ghosts, not St. Patrick, but ghosts. Meaning they follow you. But what you have to do is try to figure out, how can I take the content that I'm getting, the conversation that I'm getting, to build the content that they need. A lot of the times that you see content that I'm getting, it's because of y'all. I say this all the time, and sometimes I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I see certain stuff you're talking about, certain things that you see or certain things that you are sharing, and I'm like, okay, I can talk about that. So how are you taking that conversation that your audience is giving to build content on to align to the journey that they're going through? The customer journey starts with when they find out what their brand awareness, and then just going through, how are you hitting the touch points? And this is going into my next point that I wanted to call out. Is that how are you taking their content? Your audience is content, pure content. Their content and their solutions within what your people are talking about. So if you don't, I follow some of my content people or some of my good best friends. So maybe we'll take from that. But if you're not BFFs with your audience, there's levels of BFFs. Let me keep it real. People you can tell everything to, people you can't. I get it. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt. But with your audience, they're somewhat your BFFs because they tell you what they need without them knowing that they're telling you that. So if you are an author, what are you doing to take and manipulate your book to build content, whether it's through a newsletter via email, through your social, through anything like that, through even live? To call out somebody that said Rona has been good to them. One of my favorite brands, Yank & Glow, what she's done during this time has manipulated what the hell Rona has done. And she's taken what Rona has done to manipulate it. It's not manipulate. I say manipulate, not in a bad way, but a good way. She's taken the content that people are asking, the questions that people are asking her, to formulate content, formulate touch points, formulate social media and stuff like that to better position her brand for brand awareness. So while this time is like, you really have to blow up your business model right now. It's no one right way to have a business model. If you are finding that your stuff is slow, I got on a high horse. If you're finding that your business is slow, no, you're not the only one. 2, why is it slow? If you know people are having, they can't pay for certain packages, how are you able to offer up? You do good. How are you able to offer up, opt-ins that they can do while in this right here? So a lot of people knew that I had a Rona special, meaning if you couldn't pay for a session with me, I had a session that was probably what people spend on Starbucks in a week. See, the reason why I did that is the servitude within the solve. Because I know a lot of people had questions about money, and a lot of people had questions about their business, and I know that they really don't have some people can't justify the spend right now unless it's on stuff. But if your business is going through that slow peak, taking time to reset your business, what systems do you have in place? Do you have email marketing? Do you have a website that they can fully follow along with and gain insight about you? How are you showing up on social? What messaging are you taking and lacing through all of those different touch points? That's what you need to be doing right now. If it's slow, build your messaging, go back and figure out what can you do differently to meet this new different thing, or new normal as everyone is calling it. What can you do differently? Because a lot of people now are pushing, what are they pushing? These webinars and stuff like that. If you are not webinar friendly, you do like me, talk on this and take the nerves off of it and then taking the pivot. So again, it's like if your business is slow right now, appreciate the slow. But while you're in the slow, build those businesses, revamp your brand if it's certain parts that you need to revamp. Take time to relearn your audience. Did your audience change after you defined your why? If your audience changes, you might need to figure out, well, what have I been doing differently to meet this new audience segment? Because I'm gonna give you a little bit of tea. Your audience is not just one persona, it's levels of it. So if your audience changes, how are you making your information connect to that new audience segment? Because it's slow now, but what you do in the slow is kind of like you sowing into the seeds that you're going to see later. Because this business is gonna be booming. Damn, who was that? It used to be DJ Khaled and the boy Ben. Business is booming. Business is gonna be booming based off the stuff you do while you're slow. Are you working on the business or in the business? On the business is showing, I'm doing this on social. But in the business, what are you doing? Are you setting up those systems? Are you setting up the email? What are you doing right now? Because a lot of people like showing, here I'm doing stuff. But as you follow me on Instagram and you see my stories, I consistently show you what I am doing. Thank you, executive producer. I'm consistently showing you in my business. So what are you doing in your business? Not just showing off. Again, the next question is, and I posted on my personal Facebook about 45 threatening to take down social due to the fact that now Twitter is starting to twist his hand about his racist tweets and fake news. So he's threatening to take down social. We know that's a good chance that he's not going to do it. But in the contrary that this fool does something, I want you to start figuring out those parts that I say work in the business, those parts that you own. When you post stuff on social media, you don't own that. Mind your business, literally. You don't own that. Cheeto Satan. You don't own that. You own your website, you own your email list. That's it. Oh, and your actual business. That's it. You know, the city girls had to come out. That's it. Did you own that? So whenever you post anything, that belongs to Jake or whatever. It's still partial, your IP, your intellectual property, but you don't own that. So say, for instance, if Instagram goes down as is normally known to do when they update their algorithm, you know, you can't post, you can't do nothing. People freak out. If Instagram go down, do you have an email list? Have you been collecting those emails to continue the conversation on properties that you own? Are you? Are you sitting there and a lot of people, oh, if I have a list, I have to sell something all the time. Again, servitude, solution, sell. If you are a follower of my email tribe, I give you solutions. I serve you, give you some MOT, I make you laugh, and then if I have something I need to sell you right now, I'm going to sell it to you. But I won't sell it to you the way you know I'm selling it to you. So, are you building your email list? And are you owning your links? So, I talked about this on my IG story. This is it, and I'm over an hour. I know it. But I shared on my Instagram stories that I had link.tree. Link.tree is good to point people from your Instagram to your link, and then from the link to something else, like if it's your blog post, sign up for your email list or something like that. I changed mine. Because technically, they own it. And I want it to be able, if I want to update it, I want to be able to update it and keep it going. You won't know I updated it. I changed it from not just utilizing Linktree or Honey or any of those other platforms, which are good. I created my own link via Canva. I designed it's an Instagram. You just type in, if you have a Canva account, whether it's pro or free, just type in Instagram and it'll show you how you can create it. If you need a template, I can possibly help you with that. If you need someone to help you with that, I can too. When I say help, but no, I'm just really cognizant about helping businesses thrive. So if you need to be shown how to do this, I can show you. But the reason why I did that is because if Linktree one time, I think it was early last year, it went down. So if I can't sit here and have pre-planned content telling you to go here and just hit submit and it uploads and everything, and Linktree not working, what you gonna do? I could quickly change everything because I'm tech savvy. But what are you going to do if that platform is not working? Do you have a contingency plan for your business? If certain systems stop working, do you have a contingency plan? I want my stuff to look a certain way, so that's why I did it. But on those links, also, if you are a business and you were just utilizing www.yourbusiness.com / whatever it is, stop it. Stop it. Why? Your business, your website, depending on the platform, can tell you, yeah, this many people clicked or whatever. But sometimes it'll show all of it, sometimes it won't. But using a link shortener, and I'm a queen of link shorteners, if you see it, it's what I'm doing. You don't have to own the link, but you can, meaning the change that you change it to, you can make it a vanity link where it says bit.ly / on your ish or something like that. You can change it. But a lot of times I do it. The reason why, the more metrics, the more movement you're understanding your content is doing. Yes, it's good to have the insight and concepts and metrics that you have from your website, but having that extra bit of metrics data will help you tell another full level or chapter to that story. So on your links, on your email list, take your audience on the journey. Ooh, that crack felt good. I think that's it. Recapping. You can build wealth while you're not rich. Don't believe the hype of Instagram. Okay. 2, you can learn from these companies. Everything that anyone goes through, whether it's a business, country, or whatever. Speaking of countries, start paying attention to what's going on in the foreign countries. Start paying attention. Lil T, Japan is looking at another stimulus for I think it's over $1 trillion. Start looking at these countries. So that goes to show you, Rona ain't finished yet. But back to what I was saying, these companies is going bankrupt. Pay attention to what can I learn from that company for my own company. No matter if you have an LLC or you don't have a company at all, your life is, you're the co-owner of your life, along with whoever you believe in. You're the co-owner of your life. So you have to take ownership of it. Am I spending outrageously? Am I saving? How am I giving myself an allowance to buy and be? So the build, and blow scenario goes into the whole plan. Are you taking from what those companies are doing? Do they have more debt than they do assets? There you go. And for businesses, it's good to take your company. I'm just gonna eclipse this all into one. It's good to take your audience on a journey with you. Rather, if you're rebranding, or you just really want to start building them, bringing them in a little bit more, bringing them to the big kid table, you can. It's good. But like I said, you own your website. You pay for that domain. Technically, you know what I'm going. The only way that gets taken away if you don't pay. It's simple. So you own your website. You own your email list. How are you capitalizing off of that? So don't just rely on social to be your savior, because anything can happen. So if there's no more questions, there was another one. What happens if your business is slow? Appreciate the slow and build your business. Build your systems. You build your systems. A lot of people are looking to digitalize their business right now. Rather, if you want to move like me, I'm probably moving from more session to digital, as far as webinars and stuff like that. Your business model should be changing, or if anything, it should be revamping to see what should we be doing right now. So I think that's all top to bad. Any questions, comments, concerns, revelations? Yeah, I'm drinking water. If there are no more questions, I'll say this. If there are questions or you're watching this in the replay, hit hashtag replay. Let me know you were here so I can tell you thank you. A. B. Ask those questions. If you found this, live good for you, share it with your team. Share it with your people. If you have any questions that you want me to answer next week, email me. Not email me, but comment or send me a message. Whatever form of communication you have from me, do it. So yeah, I think that's about it. We're an hour and 8 minutes. It's called 8 minutes. You know I'm long-winded, especially when I get focused. So within that, stay focused and stay funded. That's my new tagline. If you ain't noticed on my email list. So I will talk to you all next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Unless no one has questions, but if no one has questions for the week, I still find stuff that I think people should know, and it's still for me to come here. So if you have any questions, put them down in the comment section, hashtag replay. I'll answer them right then, and I'll answer them next week. How about that? Cash App. What about Cash App? You want my Cash App? What about Cash App? What about Cash App? Pause. If you're talking about investing through your Cash App, it's good to utilize. You can invest as little as $1. And yes, no fees. Now, if you want my Cash App, $ and my name, my government name, Nadia Vanderhall, no C. So people making me ask for Cash App. I'll take it. They want your handle. Okay. $ Nadia Vanderhall is my Cash App. Thank you. Yes, I do have one. $ Nadia Vanderhall. That's my Cash App. Thank you. So again, sharing means caring. So I'll be back next Wednesday. Stay focused. Don't let Rona and the Satan Cheeto Satan take you off your focus. All right. Okay, bye.